Guys, in this video we'll talk about the new updates coming out in the patch 5.0 and I will give you my take on how meaningful they are. First, I want to thank Genshin Impact for sponsoring this video and remind you that there is a web event tied to Natlan going on right now, so make sure to check it out through the link in the description below. Natlan, new region, new patch cycle, new exciting things to analyze and explore. Usually, Genshin developers always try their best for these occasions, but it seems to me that this time around, this year, they really want to make this update look like a revolution for the game. Starting from the heartfelt message expressed by the Wei, who spoke on how harshly the team takes criticism and how they always try to outdo themselves, going to the funny remarks the devs made on stream about how surprising it is for a game like Genshin to introduce new changes, it really feels like they've never been more self-aware than they are now. Starting from the basics, I feel like with Nathan they've made an upgrade in terms of aesthetics while also giving the region-specific elements more personality. Looking back at Fontaine, while the underwater areas they introduced were certainly beautiful, the characters themselves didn't have many peculiar elements, as the ocean Noom alignments felt lackluster in terms of flashiness, and the special underwater effects you could get by syncing with sea monsters felt rather underwhelming. Pretty much the polar opposite is happening here. Natlan characters get special glowing effects that make them look extra stylish, and more importantly, kits feel more characteristic than ever before, since they can use their main gimmicks more constantly to traverse the world and so on. While this isn't quite unprecedented, since a character like Wanderer, for example, can be argued to have a similar design through his constant flying mechanics, Natlan characters seem to upgrade on that, and the devs promise they will keep this level of quality for the entire roster. Secondarily, unlike in Fontaine, now you're not just stealing some monsters' powers to unleash rather plain looking effects, but rather you're merging with them to use their exploration capabilities in the overworld. This looks pretty fun, and it could make the exploration feel more diverse, although I wished you could somehow physically mount some of these monsters rather than just becoming them, but it's cool overall. Natlan in general sets itself up as a way different environment from what we've gone through last year. While Fontaine was the regional law and order, Natlan is the regional wilderness and strength. I won't spoil much, but I'm pretty curious on how they'll develop on what they set up. Also, for the first time since Raiden, we're getting an Archon that seems to be at the center of everything that is happening in the region, which I like, and oh my god, do I love this badass character. If you followed me on Twitter, you probably already know how much I like Capitano and how excited I was for him eventually showing up. I literally can't wait to find out what is going to happen in this damn cutscene, man. And I know a lot of people are saying he's skinnier than expected and that he lost all of his aura, whatever that means. And look, I hear you, I also would have preferred if he was bulkier. I even made a public offer on a tweet to trade my body for the sake of Capitano's model. Hoyo, I know you're watching this video, you know where to find me. But look, as far as my appreciation for the character goes, I literally don't give a damn. I still love how he looks, and I'm just so excited that we're finally getting to see him. Other things they've shown that were really interesting regard more technical parts of the game. The most important and surprising one is probably that they're reshaping how the weapon banner works. Basically, the way it worked before, if you wanted a specific 5-star weapon from it, you were previously guaranteed to get it only if you missed your PT twice on the same banner. Now they're lowering that amount to 1, decreasing the average amount of pulls required to get a weapon by a good chunk. If you remember, I made a video some time ago where I basically stated that in my opinion it's not worth it to pull most of the 5-star weapons in Genshin. This wasn't exactly much about the banner itself, but rather that the effective increase you get from these weapons can very often be lower than you expect. I honestly still believe that, and I think the more time passes, the more weapons start looking like a 7 constellations for characters they're releasing with, as they're starting to have more and more effects that tie specifically to the character's kit. It's a very nice thing that the weapon banner is not so trash anymore, but honestly, with the 5-star weapons losing general value, it's also understandable. Second most important are the changes to the artifacts. We're getting an artifact selector that will allow us to create pieces of a specific artifact set with up to 2 specific substats to start off. I could be saying many things about this one, but I think the best type of summary is that this change is so surprising that even the dev couldn't believe it. Honestly, I think it's been a long time coming. There was just no reason whatsoever for artifact grind to be as bad as it was for a single player game that after all doesn't even have combat as its sole focus. I made a video a long time ago about how hard it is to get good artifacts in Genshin, and the bottom line is that getting, for example, a good inset goblet of the right damage bonus element basically has the same likelihood as you winning the lottery. Now, with these new things, it will be much easier to get good pieces, and it will specifically help whenever new artifact sets come out. Third most important change for me, they're increasing the materials drop rate in the overworld and increasing the maximum world levels as well. The second change is more important than the first for me specifically, and it has nothing to do with farming. I like the idea of being able to face tougher opponents while exploring. Like, during my Genshin journey, it always felt pretty bad whenever I noticed how trivial it was to beat most of the opponents in the game, as it really diminished the sense of adventure the game could make me feel. Now, I don't expect the game to magically get hard, but maybe now enemies won't feel like wooden sticks. For the farming, it's obviously good. Some materials were really annoying to farm, and I just know they specifically emphasize on the Karagi drops to trigger some PTSD and convince players that this is truly an awesome update. On top of that, they're making it possible for you to specifically track collectibles on the map by checking their info in the inventory. This is really good, as before, if you wanted to farm them quickly, you were forced to look at some of the interactive maps on the internet, which were a bit clunky to navigate while playing. You are magnificent, interactive map. I will never forget you for as long as I live. Moreover, we're now going to get a free standard 5-star selector every anniversary. I already went in depth on it in a separate video, so if you want to know which 5-star to select, make sure to check that out. But I know some people were let down by it because the current standard 5-star pool doesn't look too exciting. In this regard, they stated they will keep releasing standard 5-stars, so the fact we get to potentially select one of them for free every year is pretty great moving forward. Lastly, Primo Gems, Primo Gems, Primo Gems. This is the first year where the release of the new region aligns with the anniversary, so I think you can expect some huge rewards. They emphasize on it on stream, showing login rewards and so on, and basically saying that Nathan will be more rewarding in that sense than ever before. They seem to be pretty proud of their work there in general, since they're making it so you can unlock the Nathan storyline even if you had just finished the Liyue story but haven't done Inazuma, Sumeru and so on. They really want players to get to see the new Genshin impact as fast as possible, and this level of confidence from them in their own work inspires trust from my part, like personally. Still, I would advise new players against just jumping on the new shiny thing straight away. Not only you will experience a more organic story progression by doing the regions in order, but if Nathan is as revolutionary as they claim from a gameplay perspective, then doing something like Inazuma after doing Nathan could feel like a letdown. Still, overall, there is a lot to be excited about here, and I will play the new story frame 1 just to see how this cutscene ends. And I'm done for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and also go check the free standard 5-star selector guide I made a few days ago. Bye bye.